on TV News at 6.
Finally, an inspiring story to leave you with tonight. Today, 43-year-old George Marcello walks with a spring in his step thanks to the anonymous liver donor who saved his life.
George's what? Dynamite! George's tick, 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 boom! Dynamite!
In gratitude to his donor's family, he has embarked on a 2,000-kilometer trek around the province to raise public awareness. Canada has one of the worst organ donation rates in the industrialized world.
This walk acknowledging that act of donating their loved one's organs so I could live. And also I'm addressing the critical shortage of organ and tissue donations in Canada.
And finally, an inspiring story to leave you with tonight. Today,
it's a trek George Marcello, a professional fitness promoter, didn't think would be possible. Certainly not 4 years ago, as he waited near death for a new liver.
When I received my organ transplant, I went from very sick to very healthy in a short time.
And you are very healthy today.
And I am very healthy today, and I'm not the exception.
This walk isn't intended to raise money. It is intended to make the point that organ donation definitely restores health. 2,400 kilometers underfoot by the time it's done is proof of that. And the walk is intended to make the point that although most Canadians sign donor cards,
at the hospital, the family is vetoing that decision 60% of the times when they're approached.
Marcello is promoting a national donor registry and legislation so gift-of-life decisions can't be reversed by families. But also, says George, the walk is a way to say
thank you very much. You know, for the gift of life is, you know, I'm almost like left with a mission to make sure that the family knows that I'm grateful. I would hope that they're proud of what I'm doing.
Guy Goodwin reporting from near Tavistock for News Now.
Ordinarily, that wouldn't be news. But take a look at these feet. They have brought George Marcello across Ontario and into the city. He is walking on behalf of the Organ Transplant Association. 43-year-old George is a liver transplant recipient. This is his way of giving back to anonymous donors.
To say thank you to the donor, the family, all the families, all the donors that have courageously and unselfishly made that act to save other people from a life of disease.
Marcello will continue his awareness walk called Step by Step. The Transplant Association says that there is a critical shortage of organ tissue donation here in Canada. And we will pick up the pace a little bit now to
It's a journey George Marcello began almost 3 months ago. He's not looking for money. He's after something far more important to anyone who finds themselves in the situation he was in 7 years ago. George was a student at Kitchener's-Conestoga College when a routine medical checkup revealed a life-threatening liver disease. He was saved by a liver transplant. This walk began over 2,000 kilometers ago. It'll wrap up in a couple of weeks, and George hopes that his footsteps have a lingering effect.
And it didn't feel real to me. I was in that.
His message is simple. Too few Canadians sign their organ donor cards, and even if a transplant occurs, donor and recipient are discouraged by law from meeting.
Part of our mandate here was to, as we were going through all the communities, was to make a call to get all the mayors and politicians over to our press conferences so we can make them all aware of this situation. And, you know, I did get a chance to talk to about 500,000 people on this trip.
That includes Steve Coleman, who's taken up the challenge to improve donor card awareness.
I did not know that your families had to say that you were allowed to have your organs donated. I thought you just signed the card and that was it.
A serious message easily lost on people of college age. Hearing it firsthand helps.
It's not something that we'd think about and certainly not address. It raises issues, I guess, toward our everyday health and what we might be thinking about in the future.
What's your attitude toward getting a donor card after hearing George?
I'll seriously think about it. I do realize the issues are in today's society, so it's a good idea to think about it and sign the back of your card, yeah.
Jim Alexander, CKCO News, Kitchener. George Marcello headed off on foot almost 3 months ago, but unlike most people who take their cause to the street, he's not looking for money. He's after awareness, letting people know how important it is to consider a difficult subject, organ donation. It wasn't on George's mind 7 years ago when he was a student at Conestoga College. Routine medical checkup revealed a life-threatening liver disease.
When you get this kind of news, it doesn't feel real.
That's why George hit the road on a 2,000-kilometer journey around Ontario to say thanks for his liver transplant and work toward changing laws he takes in a very personal way.
And one of them is the scenario where even if you sign your donor card, the hospital has to approach the family for the final decision. We have to change that scenario. It isn't a right scenario. We shouldn't have to approach a family at a time of tragedy and distress. So I'm trying to also address to bring a national registry to this country, which is far long overdue.
George knows it's a tough sell to people of this age, but he is turning some heads, including that of Steve Coleman, a Conestoga student who's taken up the challenge to improve donor card awareness.
I did not know that your families had to say that you were allowed to have your organs donated. I thought you just signed the card and that was it.
A serious message easily lost on people of this age. Hearing it firsthand helps.
It's not something that we'd think about and certainly not address. It raises issues, I guess, toward our everyday health and what we might be thinking about in the future.
What's your attitude toward getting a donor card after hearing George?
I'll seriously think about it. I do realize the issues are in today's society, so it's a good idea to think about it and sign the back of your card.
Along the way, George has made a point of meeting senior civic officials like Kitchener Mayor Carl Zayer, himself a supporter of the donor program. He's also welcomed by people who work on the front lines of donor issues.
Unfortunately, with the budget cuts and things, it's hard to get the message out there, but word of mouth is the best way. And by having George do things like this, it certainly makes things much easier for everyone.
There's still a week of walking ahead, but it leads George to the Ontario Legislature and a planned meeting with Premier Harris, an effort that makes George Marcello this week's local hero. I'm Jim Alexander.